Welcome to Movie Slice. Quick fun recaps of your favorite movies. Sharp, funny, and to the point. Hit subscribe and get your perfect slice of cinema. The movie Uncontained begins with two children deeply absorbed in play, completely unaware of the strange shadows quickly passing outside the big glass window. The whole world had become a zombie land. The zombie virus had spread 6 years ago, but this brother and sister managed to survive until now in a villa in an abandoned area, which wasn't easy for anyone because the dangers they faced were much greater than anyone could imagine. A little earlier, two friends had arrived in their car and stopped in front of the same villa. The brother, whose name was Jim, went outside holding a toy gun. The man asked him honestly, "Where are your mom and dad?" Jim stayed silent and didn't reply at all. That same night, Jim and his little sister locked all the windows and doors of the house. There were childlike zombies standing outside who could break in at any moment, but the night passed by, and in the morning, Jim was checking the bullets in his gun. It was clear this was not a toy gun. The brother and sister went outside to play again, but suddenly the same car returned. This time the two people were much harsher in their approach. They asked again, "Where are your mom and dad?" Jim lied and said they went to the village to get some things, but it wasn't easy to fool two adults like them. The woman with a mocking smile said, "It's only a few hours' trip to the village, but fine, we'll wait here until they return, and we'll look after you." As soon as they saw the villa was full of food and the freezer was running, they decided to stay. The man, whose name was Jack, said he'd go hide the car outside. It was clear these two were afraid someone was chasing them. In the silence of the night, Jim overheard the two talking secretly. It was obvious they really liked the place. For safety, Jim took his little sister and hid her in a room called the safe room. This habit is what kept the brother and sister alive until now. Early in the morning, Jack had made breakfast and was sitting down, having already considered the place his home. Jim, who seemed calm, suddenly said something strange. "It's over before you know it." As soon as night began to fall, Jim suddenly asked a strange question. "Is it time?" His dog came to him, sniffed him, then gently nodded. Immediately, Jim picked up his little sister, locked her in the safe room, and downstairs the two guests were still absorbed in what they were doing, completely unaware that danger was about to strike. The girl got up, pretending to go to the bathroom, and suddenly saw zombies crouching outside the window. She quickly turned off the light, maybe thinking the zombies wouldn't see her in the dark, but suddenly the room door slowly opened behind her. Jack immediately sensed something was wrong, pulled out his gun, and entered the room. He was shocked at the scene before him. His friend was lying on the floor, soaked in blood. From that moment, those two disappeared from the story entirely. On the other side, Jim and his sister were completely unharmed, and the next day they were playing outside as usual. Surely this wasn't the first time someone tried to break into their house. At that time, a long-haired man was walking through a snow-covered forest. He saw many traps set in the snow and followed their tracks until he reached the villa. Suddenly, a little girl appeared before him. Before the man could understand anything, he felt a burning sensation in his neck. It was a sedative injection, and the one who did it was none other than Jim. This was one of Jim's survival tactics. When the man woke up from the anesthesia, Jim was standing, pointing a gun at him. After questioning, they learned his name was Adam. He was a special forces soldier heading north to look for his wife. Jim was a bit surprised. This man was different from anyone he'd seen before. Adam didn't ask for food or medicine. He just wanted his gun back. Jim struck a deal with him. If Adam helped them get the electricity running again in the villa, he'd return his gun. Adam asked, "Where are your mom and dad?" This time Jim didn't lie. He said his father was a scientist who disappeared a long time ago, and his mother worked for a security agency and had gone on a mission a few days back, but would return soon. Adam kept looking at the treadmill. Maybe something was on his mind. He was surprised to learn the whole villa was powered by electricity generated from the treadmill. Suddenly, a zombie appeared outside the window, walking slowly. Adam didn't hesitate. He immediately grabbed a metal pipe and finished it off. But when he returned covered in blood, Jim yelled at him angrily, "Why did you kill it? All this glass is bulletproof. No matter how many zombies are outside, they can't get in." Adam was scolded, but inside he started to feel compassion for the brother and sister. He himself decided to get on the treadmill and generate electricity with his own hands, running all night until he was about to collapse. Suddenly, without knowing when, Jim's sister came up to him, circled around him for a bit, then frowned and said, "What's that awful smell?" and ran off laughing. Adam immediately went to the bathroom to shower. Jim's sister also took a step forward and brought him a hair tie as a gift. Meanwhile, Jim had left the villa early in the morning with his sister to check the traps they set around the villa every day. This was their first line of defense. This time, too, there was a live zombie caught and flailing. In the villa, Adam had breakfast, then went to the place where Jim's mother used to work. There were photos on the table and a car key. Adam ran straight to the garage, but unfortunately, the car was broken down. Suddenly, he noticed a room in the corner. He thought it might be a tool room and tried to enter, but Jim, who had just returned, stopped him loudly. After spending several days together, the brother and sister were sure Adam wasn't a bad person. They stopped going to the safe room at night, but for some reason, Jim handcuffed himself before dawn. Adam woke up to the sound of footsteps outside. It turned out Jim was doing his daily patrol again. He went to the same old trap where yesterday's zombie was still caught. Jim was still thinking about something when Adam arrived. Adam thought the zombie in the trap might be Jim's mother and was about to finish it off, but Jim pointed his gun at him again and stopped him. Adam returned to the villa angry and opened the tool room Jim had forbidden him from entering. Inside were mats and sheets, and on the walls were claw marks filled with mud. He immediately understood that a zombie had been locked up here, and Adam's suspicions grew stronger. At the same time, they heard the sound of a car engine outside. Some new survivors had arrived, but they didn't look trustworthy at all. They were armed and circling the villa, checking things out. Adam didn't have a weapon, so he couldn't do anything. Meanwhile, Jim, returning from his mountain patrol, saw everything from afar, while Jim's sister was upstairs at the window, waving her hands. As soon as the thieves started moving toward her, Adam suddenly appeared, took the girl away from the window to protect her, and Jim took a deep breath and felt relieved. The rest of the thieves saw that all the windows and doors were locked, so in the end, they got in their car and left. After all that happened, Jim became very confident in Adam and personally returned his weapon to him. And Adam felt that maybe it was time for him to leave, but at the same time, he felt a slight pain inside. At night, he heard his wife's voice calling him in a dream again, and in the morning, as soon as he woke up, Adam made a big decision. He would take the brother and sister with him and go look for his wife. That way he could fulfill his dream and at the same time keep these kids safe. But Jim, without thinking, immediately refused and said, "I'm gonna stay here and wait for Mom to come back." Suddenly they heard a commotion and loud voices outside. The thief from yesterday had returned with many people, and they caught the sister who was playing outside. When guns were pointed from every direction and the fight was about to start, suddenly, after a while, gunshots rang out. Two of the thieves fell where they stood. Adam immediately ran forward and freed the sister. The one who fired the shots was Jim's mother, who turned out to be a secret agent. But at that moment, Adam was shot in the chest and fell to the ground badly. No one knew how much time had passed, but Adam woke up again. His chest wound had healed, and there was a rope tied around his body. After that, Adam went inside the house, and suddenly Lena told him everything. People who get infected with the regular virus lose their minds and are left with nothing but hunger and thirst. But in this world, there is a special type of infected whose minds remain completely normal, and at the same time, they gain the physical strength of zombies. They can quickly recover from any illness or wound, but they have one weakness. If they are seriously injured or enough time passes, they go insane. At that moment, they become just like regular zombies. Adam was shocked when he heard this. He himself was a special infected like that. Lena nodded and said yes, and that the day he was shot, he should have died right away, not just gone crazy for a while, and then returned to normal the next day. Adam was deeply shocked when he heard this, but Lena still had more to reveal. She told him that the boy Jim was also a special infected just like him. In fact, the two people who died that night were killed by Jim when he went insane. Now Adam understood why Jim chained himself up every night before sleeping. Adam asked if there was any way to know when this insanity would come. Lena said that Jim's dog was specially trained to sense from his scent when Jim was about to go crazy. Adam remembered the room that was scratched up with claws. This was the place where they used to lock Jim up when he went insane. Suddenly they heard the sound of a car engine in the distance. Lena was dealing with some members of the militia while carrying her daughter in her arms. Their leader, who had a white beard, had known Lena for a long time. In fact, his daughter had run away with a young man, so this father was very worried and set out with his team to look for her. Lena told him that if she saw her, she would definitely tell him. The man with the white beard left with his team, upset. That same night, Adam asked without thinking what was the real story behind this villa. Lena revealed to him that the National Security Agency had long anticipated that the zombie virus could spread at any time, so they had prepared thousands of safe havens in all the deserted areas of the country. All the building materials were strong and provided special protection, and this shelter was also equipped with a full energy supply system to keep it running independently. Adam felt great anxiety inside when he heard this, feeling that Lena should have told people this information earlier. Maybe many more innocent people could have been saved. But Lena shook her head with a sad smile. In fact, Jim and his sister were both born with a heart disease. Their father was a biologist and the first person to discover the zombie virus. When he saw that his son wouldn't survive, about 3 years ago, he made a dangerous decision and injected the zombie virus into Jim. By a strange coincidence, Jim Jim became a special infected, but when Jim went insane for the first time, his father was bitten at the same time and couldn't save himself, slowly turning into a regular zombie. In the end, Lena had to kill her husband herself. Adam was shaken inside when he heard this. He started to see Lena with great respect, a mother who did the impossible to protect her little family. Lena's family also began to trust Adam. One day, Jim's dog suddenly started barking. Lena understood that Jim's condition was about to worsen again. She locked Jim in a room, and after a little while, terrifying screams began to come from inside. Lena sat outside the door, shocked, her heart breaking, but she stayed quietly outside because it was the only solution. At the same time, Adam came to her calmly and said, "I'll stand guard now. Maybe that's the difference when there's a man in the house." But no one expected that Jim's sister, while playing outside, would suddenly faint and fall. Lena immediately understood. Her heart disease had returned, and they didn't have advanced treatment. Adam suggested they infect her with the zombie virus like Jim. Maybe a miracle would happen. But Lena immediately refused, saying that what happened with Jim was 1 in a million, and the girl had already suffered a lot. In the end, both decided to let her go in peace. Jim, Lena, and Adam were together on the sisters' last journey. After that, it was time for Adam to leave, even though Jim and Lena begged him to stay. But Adam insisted on his decision. He was now going out to look for his wife. The house felt very empty after 2 people left. Suddenly, Lena felt the house had become gloomy, and on the other side, the men of the white-bearded man found the car that Jack had hidden in the nearby forest. The 2 who were staying in the villa were the same ones who had helped the white-bearded man's daughter escape. Now the closest house to the hidden car was Lena's villa. The white-bearded man decided to go back and search there again. At the same time, Adam, who was sleeping in the snow, woke up to the sound of fast footsteps. When he looked outside, he saw many scattered footprints in the snow and tire tracks leading straight to Lena's house. Adam felt deep anxiety inside and ran quickly in that direction. From a distance, he saw that Lena's villa was now completely under the militia's control. At that moment, the white-bearded man was accusing Lena of hiding information about his daughter because his men had found something small belonging to his daughter there. Lena had nothing left to say. No more excuses. On the other side, Adam silently bypassed the villa's guards and managed to get inside. He found Jim hiding in the kitchen, and after learning the number of enemies, he immediately drew his weapon. Adam now became a silent killer in the darkness, taking out the militia soldiers stationed in every corner. But when he reached the living room, he found many guns pointed at his head. What Adam did next shocked everyone. He suddenly stabbed himself in the neck with a knife. Those standing next to him were stunned and didn't understand anything. Only Lena understood why Adam did this. She took Jim and quietly left the living room. As Lena expected, after a short while, Adam went into a full state of madness. Now he became a force that no one can overcome, and he managed to finish off the gang, the man with the white beard, one after the other. Lena was forced to escape from the villa with her son, and Adam gathered all the zombies around him. The next morning, Adam woke up to find the entire villa had become a ruin. On the table, he found a letter that Lena had left. The letter said that the mother and son had left by car heading north. If fate allows, they might meet again. Adam smiled, picked up his sister's favorite doll, carried it on his back, and set off north. And that's the end of the movie. We'll meet again in a new summary. Thank you for watching.